Yeah, I'm at the point with this road journalism project where it's trying to wrap things up to a degree because I can't continue to do too much more with it. You know, move it in a certain direction or let it go for a little while and get my feet back on the ground, or go somewhere else with it. I don't know. You know, right now is everything's sort of going on in the middle of one of those trips, right? But that's the nature of it for me, anyway. So I don't know if that explains too much, but
I got the picture now. You came in late, man.
yeah.
That's all I know.
So, tell me about the early bits. What?
Well, I should switch camera rolls now.
All right.
The early bits of Swell.
Yeah.
Well, you know the whole story. Maybe you don't. It started. Oh God, years. I'm not too good with numbers. Let's see. 87, 86, 87. I was living in Santa Barbara. Met a guy named John Detman, who eventually played on Swell's first 2 albums. Anyways, he and I were playing in a band here called Brothers of Different Mothers for about 6 months. I think it was 86 and 87. I decided I had had enough of Santa Barbara being too small, and after a year of living here, I decided to move back to San Francisco. Moved back, talked John, my friend, into moving there with me. So we both moved back to San Francisco. I put up an ad in Rough Trade Records at the time saying, musician, drummer looking for other musicians to form a band. Influence are the beauty, how do I say it? The beauty of the Cocktail Twins with the balls of Killing Joke. And David, actually the bass player at the time that David was playing with, Tim Adams, answered it, and we hooked up shortly thereafter and jammed a bit. And then I brought John in. He played guitar in a few jam sessions with the four of us all together, and nothing really materialized. I ended up playing a few shows with David and his bass player friend Tim under the name Hold My Head It Hurts. It was kind of a darker, faster Depeche Mode-y type stuff, maybe. And then it just sort of filtered out, and I moved to Spain, northern Spain, to teach English and surf for a year. David and I kept in contact via letters every once in a while. And then he decided to come over and visit with his girlfriend Cynthia. And at that time, I had never heard of the Pixies, because they kind of exploded while I was living in Spain, and where I was living was sort of cut off, sheltered area of Spain in the Pyrenees. He came over, and there was this poster in the town square, Pixies Tonight. And that was it, man. We went to see them. I was blown away. This was in '88. I think it was '88. We saw the pictures. I was just like, damn, we got to make a record. I finished up that year of teaching, came home for the summer, and David and I made the first record, Swell, right here. Basically, it was just the two of us. David wrote most of everything, all his parts. Well, I take that back. He sort of had a rough sketch of a lot of the songs. I played on all the songs, and we kind of reshaped a few. And then I went back to Spain. He finished up the album. I remember it was funny. He finished up. No. Sorry, I'm backtracking a bit. It was during the summer that I was home making this album. I was just about to go back to Spain. He did a mix. I brought in Monty for promotions, who's a friend of mine from way back when. We grew up in Palo Alto together. And he was promoting bands and albums at the time, and I brought him in and introduced him to David and said, hey, Monty can help you out. let's hear the mix. It sucked. It was so bad. It was really thin. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it was just, I was just like, what? What has happened to this record? I told him, you know, he saw my disappointment. So I went back to Spain to teach, and he ended up remixing the whole record, and it sounds, I thought, and still does, amazing. Monty helped him out with promotions. It was pretty grassroots. They silkscreened the first 250 jackets on their own and passed them out to college radio, and it just took off. Did really, really well. David sent me over some copies. I took them up to Belgium where I had some friends in the music business, and the guy, Peter Verstralen, became our tour and booking agent for Europe. Loved the album. Just through the strength of that one album, just promoted us, got us shows, and without a record deal or anything, you know, nobody knowing us. David came over and we bussed around Spain, in France, in Belgium, and back in my car, played on the streets, Amsterdam. I had enough of that for a couple of months, came back and played our first show with Mazzy Star at the I-Beam because the record was doing so well. We had to recruit Monty to play bass and John Detman, who I had mentioned earlier. And that became the nucleus of the early days of Swell. And then we started to work on Well.
One sec.